We are off and running here, the Canadian Fighting Championships, the CFC. Wow, we got a lot going on tonight, including an unbelievable main event. It's Joe Aiello here at ringside with my old friend, five-time Canadian wrestling champion, Cyrus. Cyrus, the main event tonight will feature Dangerous Dave Zuniga against Mark Boots Holst, and more on that coming up in just a little bit. But how about this for a matchup? Here is a young man from Moncton, New Brunswick that has never been on a plane before. This is how much this fight means to this young man. He calls out a rock star, and Stephane Poirier is trying to make a name for himself right here on the CFC.
From relative obscurity, training out in Moncton, New Brunswick, to thrust into the media spotlight against multimedia superstar Robin Black, Joe.
Stephane Poirier, a 2-0 record from Moncton, New Brunswick, works out at Team Sago, and Stephane will be looking to break Robin, apparently standing and trying to take this fight and becoming the fighting rock star himself.
Stephane's 2-0 in MMA, and what a great opportunity for him to step into the spotlight. You basically have nothing to lose and everything to gain in this fight if you're Poirier, because you beat Robin Black and you become a rock star of sorts yourself.
We're going to be joined here at ringside in just a couple of minutes by the legendary Keith Crawford, who's doing duties inside the ring as well. And we're awaiting the arrival of that rock star you were talking about, Robin Black from Extreme Couture, Toronto.
In the red corner, Robin Black.
This has been an unbelievable story here. Robin Black made a name for himself in Manitoba originally, moving to Toronto to gain, I guess, fame on a national level with much music and the sort, and of course being a rock star. Then decides one day, falls in love with mixed martial arts and says, you know what, I want to do that. I want to be a fighter. Unbelievable.
Great story. People love crossover stories in sports. You talk about Bo Jackson, you talk about Brock Lesnar. We have Robin Black here. The difference between him and those examples is he's going from a completely different world of rock and roll into a very unique world in MMA.
We're going to get to more details on, of course, what Robin's been doing. I understand, though, putting the full focus right now on MMA. He's been working out at Extreme Couture Toronto, and it's not like you can just walk in there off the street.
He's obviously put that same focus and commitment he had in rock and roll into his MMA. He's 0-2 right now, looking for his first win, but you're right. In MMA, you want to have a great dojo, a great place to train, and Extreme Couture certainly has that marquee name value.
Robin coming into this fight with an 0-2 record, so a relative newcomer to the sport, basically been working full-time in MMA for about 3 years now. We're going to find out how much of a focus he's put in the ring, though.
Will be fought in the CFC flyweight division, and will be contested over 3 5-minute rounds. The man in charge of the action is Mr. Adam Cheadle. First of all, in the blue corner from Moncton, New Brunswick, training out of Team Sago, he stands 5'4" tall. He weighed in at 131 pounds. He is undefeated with 2 victories. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephane Poirier. And in the red corner, originally from Winnipeg, Manitoba, now training out of Toronto, Ontario, at Extreme Couture in Toronto. He stands 5'6". He weighs 134 pounds. He's a record of 0 wins, 2 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Robin Black.
We're going to give the big man a chance to get down here next to us at ringside. Keith Crawford, of course, former CFL star, former MMA star with a background in Muay Thai. So you better not act up here at ringside, Cyrus, because I got the big man with me.
Okay, guys, you got your instructions in the dressing room. I want to see a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself. Remember, striking with the point of the elbow is not permitted. Okay, hook him up, head back to your corner.
Wouldn't you say the pressure being on Robin Black here?
A lot of pressure when you're 0-2 and you've got the type of media scrutiny that Robin Black has had on him, and the type of media scrutiny, frankly, he invites on himself. 0-2, you don't want to go to 0-3 if you're Robin Black tonight.
Absolutely. The career would probably be over as quick as it started. Keith Crawford is here with us now, and Keith, we're off and running already.
You know, I'll tell you, Poirier said that he wanted to keep this standing. He looked very uncomfortable standing right from the jump. Robin's able to get him in the guillotine immediately, and he's got him down on the ground already. So Poirier is not doing anything that he said he was going to do.
Real good slam there. Looked like he spiked his forehead a little bit, Poirier did, but try to have an impact slam there, and however, Robin did hold on to that guillotine choke.
Robin Black wearing the black and beige trunks, of course, and Stephane Poirier in the camo. And an interesting matchup here as well from a relative unknown trying to, I guess, grab the spotlight here, Keith.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for Robin Black to come into the win column if he can against this gentleman. And again, I mean, Robin Black is fairly comfortable on the ground, and he's looking very comfortable on the ground now, hopefully transitioning into an armbar, or now into almost a triangle, now back into the armbar. So, I mean, Robin Black right now is living where he wants to live, which is on the ground.
Robin Black, I think, just needs to settle down and commit to getting one of these submissions. He seems to be rolling around a little bit from trying one thing to another. Having said all of that, I think Poirier seems very uncomfortable being on top, unable to pass guard.
Absolutely, he's very uncomfortable. Also, he's, I think, mistakenly, but it's actually working out well for him, getting side control and getting out of these holds where really it doesn't look like he knows how to get out of them, but he seems to be sliding out of them by chance. So Robin needs to right now get that arm inside and get the head pulled down, which he's not doing if he really wants to get Poirier in this triangle choke.
How hard is it for a fella to get out of this triangle right now? He's not a full triangle. What's he got to do to slip out of that?
I think he needs to posture up. He needs to posture up, and he's actually doing a good job now of getting his weight on top of him, but normally he would try to posture up. Robin's not pulling his arm down right here. He's not pulling his head down, so he's not putting as much pressure as it looks on him in this position.
What about landing some shots to the rib cage at the side with that left there? That looks open to me.
Very smart idea. I mean, Robin's not controlling his hands right now, so if Poirier was smart, he'd be using those hands to hammer fist him on the face right now and try to break up that hold.
Robin does look relaxed, though, for, only his third fight.
Well, traditionally, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys are very comfortable fighting off their back. He looks like he's got a high degree of flexibility, and as Keith mentioned correctly, I mean, the other kid is just real uncomfortable being in this position. He needs to stand back up.
The kid right now has got it almost, he's turning it into a side, okay, now Robin's transitioning on top of him. He gets on top of him and keeps his triangle in, that it's going to be over, but he loses a part of the triangle as he turns him over. So Poirier's still not in a bad position. Oh, now he's got the triangle, he's going to lock it back in. So
see there, I thought Robin was very close to having full mount, but he decided to stick with this triangle and get back off the bottom.
Yeah, and again, Robin Black right now. Oh,
that's it. I'll tell you what, Stephane Poirier very tenacious, but Robin Black relentless in his approach. Keith, does that surprise you at all?
It does surprise me a little bit, and it's obviously surprised Stephane Poirier also. It doesn't look like, from the position I was at, it really didn't look like he was going out, but obviously the referee can see a lot more than I can, and he stopped the fight.
Keith, that triangle choke is tough to get on a guy who's got any level of experience in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so for him to catch Poirier in that, probably showed the disparity there, but I think you're right. He didn't have that arm hooked through at all, so...
No, and at the same time, Poirier had his body position was over to the side, which would make it even more difficult. But we talked about it earlier. You said how thin Robin Black's legs are. Maybe that worked in his favor. The bones of his legs against the carotid artery of Poirier obviously started stopping the blood, and the referee chose to stop it.
Robin Black getting a hug from his corner there. A big victory for Robin Black, the rock star, trying to become an MMA star.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for these athletes one more time. Well, we have a winner in 2 minutes, 57 seconds of the first round by triangle choke in the win column, Robin Black! Now, I know this is going to be an easy interview because you've done a million of them. First of all, you're in the win column. How does it feel?
Oh, man, it feels so good to win here at home in Winnipeg. Thank you so much. He was a tough kid. That kid was undefeated, and he wanted to fight me. So he took care of it.
Robin, he said he was going to stand with you. Obviously, that went away right away in the fight. Did you expect him to stand more than he did, considering that's what he said he was going to do?
Yeah, I was ready to stand and bang. That's when I came here. This is my boxing coach, Billy Martin. He's the best coach in the world. I want to thank him. We came ready to brawl. But man, on the ground, I'm too much for them.
Now, first of all, you transition from a guillotine to a triangle to an armbar to a guillotine to a triangle. You put on an MMA, or excuse me, a BJJ display in here. Obviously, you've been training a lot on the ground. Talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, Extreme Couture Toronto, we're a new team, but you're going to see a lot of great young people out of there. We got the best jiu-jitsu coaches in the country. If anybody wants to learn MMA, come to Extreme Couture Toronto. You're welcome there.
Now, when I first met you, you said you were going to do a couple fights and you went through then and that. I'm looking in your eyes right now and you are hooked, man, hard. You told me all you were doing for the last 2 or 3 months was training. That was it. You didn't do anything else. How do you feel right now?
This is the greatest sport in the world, and it is my privilege to fight in front of you people. And I want to thank you all so much. Thank you so much. I want to thank my girlfriend, Brandy, for supporting me through all of it, and Tap Out for giving me gear. Thank you, Keith Crawford. CFC is the best fight organization, best new fight organization in the country. Come out and support this card.
Ladies and gentlemen, your hometown hero, Robin Black!